We can't hear you. And we also lost your presentation. We saw it earlier. Okay, please prepare. Thank you. Okay, let's wait for Miss Ning. We can see your PowerPoint, but we cannot hear you, Miss Ning. Check your microphone. We cannot hear you. Can you hear Miss Ning? Anyone? We can see your PowerPoint earlier. Check your mic, Miss Ning. We cannot hear you. Okay, so bring back your PowerPoint. We saw your PowerPoint earlier. It's fine, but we can check your mic. Oh, well, you need to prepare your devices. Sorry. You need to prepare your device. You are supposed to report today. You try it again. We will wait for you. We will wait for you. Try to fix your microphone.
Can you hear me?
Ah, yes, you can. We can hear you.
Okay.
So, you're Mr. Ning, right? Ning, Mr. Wang.
Huang, Mr. Huang.
Ah, okay. Chan, I thought Ning is female. So Mr. Wang, not Miss Wang, okay?
Yes, Mr. Huang.
Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, please bring back your PowerPoint. We can hear you now.
Hello, everyone. The topic I'm going to do is external quality control. A third-party organization adopts a series of methods to continuously and objectively evaluate the test results of each laboratory. Find the inaccuracy that the laboratory itself is not easy to find. Understand the difference between the results of each laboratory, help it to correct so that the results are comparable. External quality assessment. External quality assessment, or abbreviated as EQA, is the challenge of the effectiveness of a laboratory's quality management system. EQA typically refers to the challenge of quality systems in a medical laboratory. The term refers to the fact that an organizer outside of the laboratory's organization which provides a statement of quality to a laboratory. Organization. Typically, an EQA scheme consists of several rounds per year. In each round, several participants receive test items, which are also called samples. The EQA organizer is also called the provider. The organizer ensures that the test items are sufficiently similar and homogeneous, typically according to the ISO 13528. Often the test items' properties and analyte concentrations are known to the organizer, but not disclosed to participants before the final report. However, there are also many schemes where the organizer doesn't know the sample composition. The participants' results are then compared to check if any participant had a bias between a bias towards, for example, higher values or an unexpected imprecision. At the end of each round, the EQA organizer sends out reports and certificates to the participating laboratories. Accreditations. Laboratories are often accredited for ISO 17025 and ISO 15189 compliance. Internationally, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation establishes global recognition of these standards. Locally, conformance with ISO standards is checked by accreditation bodies. These often mandate, but always encourage laboratories to participate in EQA schemes. Typically, EQA scheme organizers are accredited according to the ISO 17043 standard. Firstly, I'm going to introduce the purpose. It identifies laboratory work defects, for example, operating procedures and policies. Secondly, it establishes acceptable limits for the method. Thirdly, the credibility of the identification method. Fourthly, it provides objective basis for laboratory license assessment of accreditation. Fifthly, it evaluates the ability of laboratory staff. Sixthly, it evaluates the comparability of laboratory results. The purpose is to observe the accuracy and consistency of fruit in each laboratory through comparison between laboratories and to take certain measures to make the results of each laboratory gradually become consistent. Number two, the requirements. To have a high quality of quality control technical team, room quality assessment should be based on indoor quality control. Good quality control syringe should be used as investigation samples. The method of sample determination is reliable and supported by reference laboratory. Unified determination method and calibration products. Third, methods of interventricular quality assessment. Firstly, methods. Organize a number of laboratories to jointly determine the same batch of samples within the specified time. Collect the determination results, make statistical analysis, and score according to the provisions. Proficiency testing. Proficiency testing, or PT, is one of the technology programs of external quality assessment, which has become the main content of global room quality assurance system to protect patients' interest and public welfare. PT program is an activity to judge the testing capacity of laboratories by comparing them. The Clinical Laboratory Improvement Amendment of 1988 mandates PT as one of the main elements of laboratory accreditation. Inter-laboratory test comparison. The organization execution and evaluation of tests of the same or similar items or materials by two or more different laboratories under predetermined conditions. And these are the analytical quality requirements of CLIA 88. Firstly, methods. CLIA 88 PT protocols requires clinical biochemistry programs to conduct at least 3 PT investigations per year with each investigation consisting of at least 5 different quality control samples and a minimum of 15 results for any one item in a year. The results are judged by continuous comparison between laboratories. Statistics. Target value determining. Calculate. Score for the item. S1 equals acceptable number of the item divided by total test of the item. Scores for all items in the survey. S2 equals acceptable number of all items divided by total tests of all items. Number 4, verdict. International CLIA 88 technical specification stipulates the S1 and S2 should be greater than 80. Otherwise, it is judged as unsatisfactory. In addition, if S1 or S2 is not satisfied for 2 or more consecutive times, it is regarded as failure. For one of these accepted results, no inferiority grading will be conducted. Purpose and significance. Firstly, purpose. PT is an evaluation of routine laboratory work aimed at improving the overall quality of tests. Therefore, PT specimens should be completely treated as patient specimens, and the patient specimens are analyzed at the same time, avoid tracking each other so as to reflect the real daily work level of the laboratory. Each laboratory should work closely with the PT organizer to solve problems arising from experiments and continuously improve the quality of tests. Then the significance. Comparative analysis of competence can be used to obtain the differences between the results of this laboratory and those of other laboratories using the same method, as well as to compare the results within those of laboratories doing the same test by using different methods. Capability comparative analysis can also evaluate the analytical ability of the laboratory, monitor the technical problems that may occur in the laboratory, and serve as an external supervision tool for laboratory quality assurance. Variation index scoring method. X is the measured value of a project in which the laboratory. T is the target value. V is the percentage of variation. V1 is the variation index. CCV is the selected coefficient of variation. This is the CCV value recommended by WHO. Then the criteria. In calculation, VIS only counts in integer bits with no positive or negative signs. When V1 is smaller or equals to 400, and VIS equals VI. When VI is larger than 400, VIS equals 400. WHO standard is VIS smaller than 50 for the best, VIS smaller than 100 for the good, and VIS smaller than 150 to pass exam. V1S program evaluation. V1S scheme has been widely used in the past, but with the development of science, its own shortcomings have been exposed. The determination of CCV value is a complex and long process and needs to be adjusted at any time with the update of the instrument, so that the VIS calculated value can not only truly represent the current actual level. Participation in external quality control is based on that internal quality control has no problem. Okay, that will be the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wang. Now, I only have one question. No? In your, are you working in a hospital or in the laboratory, in a lab? Hello,
Uh,
Miss.
in the
Yes.
clinic unit,
Clinic.
yeah, clinical.
But you perform laboratory tests. Do you perform
Uh,
laboratory tests in your work?
yes, I do. I test the
Okay.
blood.
Oh, okay. Could you please share to us what is the practice in your hospital to check quality control? So, what is your procedure that you apply in your laboratory for quality control? Mr. Wang, what kind of quality control you are applying or using in your laboratory? Hello? Can you?
Yes, professor.
Yes. Yes. My question is, what
Yeah, I
kind of,
know.
yes, what kind of quality
Uh,
control?
we also do the blood routine examination by our
Mm,
own.
like for example, if you are before you start your analysis, what do you do so that you are sure that you will be releasing or having a correct value or result? Yes. Prevention. Okay, so while waiting for the response of Mr. Wang, now for the second part of the asynchronous paper, no, part one is the report earlier, and then the second part just include this to your report. Number two is okay for the report of Mr. Wang. Number one, what is the main difference between internal quality control and external quality control? Okay, and then number two, what is the connection between external quality control and accreditation as mentioned by Mr. Wang during his report? No. Again, number two question, what is the connection between external quality control and accreditation? Okay. Did you get it? Did you get the okay? So actually number four na no. So number four, what is the main difference between internal and external quality control? Just give me, kumbaga, in a very short answer, how will it differentiate the two? No. So what is the most important difference between the two quality control types? And then number five, what is the connection between external QC or external quality control and accreditation? Okay, so as mentioned by Mr. Wang about the use of accreditation in quality control. So it's actually being mentioned no during the report. Okay, so that's the component of your asynchronous activity. So one sheet of bond paper, or oh, I mean